Well, welcome to Meet the Candidate. My guest for this session is Bill Penor. He is running for Washington State Lieutenant Governor. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you for having me.
Glad you could join us. And glad you could join us in the studio today.
Me too.
So this is the Get Acquainted conversation. So where did you grow up and go to school?
Well, I grew up over on the west side, over Olympic Peninsula, around Bremerton, Port Orchard area, and also the Key Peninsula, which is just west of Tacoma.
Okay. And grade school and elementary and high school all in that area?
Yeah, all in that area. I'm a 10th grade dropout. I went to South Kitsap High School in Port Orchard, and at 10th grade I decided that I wanted to get out and see the world, and that school kind of bored me, and it's one of the things that actually led me to where I am today. But becoming bored in school, thinking that I wanted to go out and excel at a career, didn't know what it was, but went out and just started exploring.
Well, where did you start your exploration then?
Well, I had several opportunities, and the thing about my opportunities of dropping out at 10th grade, most of them involved hard work. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to go to work for my uncle. He had a logging company, and so I got into a little bit of forestry management. I picked up carpentry skills, and had a lot of different mentors along the way in different fields. And so that's how I started out. It was primarily logging and construction.
And did you pursue some other training at some point, or what did you sound like you made a switch from that to something else?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah. So I was in, like I mentioned, I was in the construction field for a while, and an opportunity came up to get into the airport business. And so I went to work for the Port of Bremerton. Mm-hmm. And that's how I entered into aircraft rescue and firefighting, and working in the airport field for about 10 years there. And altogether, I've been in the airport and business management of operations for about almost 26 years now.
Okay. So is there any other interesting travel experiences that you might have had that have helped shape your approach to the world?
Yeah, well, I've had an opportunity to travel a little bit. I've been around the United States, having an opportunity to travel a little bit, looking at how other airports operate and how just different areas of the country are, and it's very, very versatile out there. Mm. It's quite an education. When I was younger, I did have an opportunity to go to Alaska, and I worked in Alaska for a while on commercial fishing and those types of ventures, construction up there. And there's an awful lot of hard work that goes into the world. Mm-hmm. And I just see people out there, there's all kinds of avenues to explore, and ways that you can go with different careers. And even though I've been in the same career now for 26 years, which is airports and aviation, there's just so much that goes into that that's so fascinating, different technologies and whatnot out there.
Yeah. Well, so are there some other kinds of volunteer experiences that you've had in the community that also are part of your personality now?
Well, yes. When I went to work for my uncle's logging company, one of the fascinating things is that there are some that believe that logging is all about just going out and clear cutting trees, but there's a very different side to that, and there's the environmental side. And that's one side that piqued my interest, is even though you're going in and you are removing vegetation, the after effect of that is quite fascinating to watch how fast it recovers, how it supports wildlife, and how just the different flora and fauna just come back to life and rejuvenate, which led me to a position on board of directors for the Narbeck Wetland Sanctuary. And the Narbeck Wetland Sanctuary is located in Everett, over on the west side. And it's an opportunity, it's like a living classroom for kids to go in and just see what is involved in a wetland, how it operates, the different species that live there. So a little bit of involvement there.
It would be fascinating to visit there, I'm sure.
It is. I'd highly recommend it. Or any wetland. There's a lot of them around the state that have opportunities like that. So I'd highly encourage it, especially for young kids.
Well, so what prompted you to step out into politics?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, my 10th grade experience, I often thought through my career trying to get a start in something that, I always thought, man, should I have dropped out? Should I have gone to college? Should I have just, knuckled down? But what I learned through that experience is that hard work and tenacity and finding mentorship and taking advantage of those mentorship opportunities really opens doors and leads you to another area that you sometimes you don't even think you can get to. That next rung, you're reaching for it constantly, and so you can. And there's nothing wrong with going to college. I have a lot of respect for those who do that, and in some cases you have to, if you're going to be a surgeon or a lawyer or something like that. But there's an awful lot of vocations out there where you can go right out of school into a mentorship or an apprenticeship. And so what I often thought was, man, if I ever get into a position to where I can help people, that is one area that I would really like to delve into, because everything that we do, everything that we make, education touches. And so that is the base, but there's a lot of inconsistencies out there that I would like to see rectified.
Okay. So one of the other questions I like to ask then is for you to describe the responsibilities of the office that you're running for, in this case for Lieutenant Governor.
Well, Lieutenant Governor, it's one of the things I hear out on the campaign is a lot of questions about what the Lieutenant Governor does, because people don't really understand the dynamic of that. And the Lieutenant Governor's office it presides with the Senate, and there are committees that the Lieutenant Governor serves on, rules committees and whatnot, budgeting, and helps bring legislation to the floor as part of that committee. But the interesting thing to me about the Lieutenant Governor's position is the direction that you can take it. And whoever holds that office can make it what they want to make it in a large degree. We've had people like past Lieutenant Governor Brad Owen, who he worked with kids and spent a lot of time in schools and whatnot, and bullying and things like that. So being able to expand that office into these different areas of interest. I've already mentioned education, but there's also other areas like economics. The Lieutenant Governor plays a role in bringing economic opportunities to the state. I'm very interested in small businesses. As we know, with COVID-19, small businesses have taken a huge hit. But the interesting thing about small businesses is that the customers that they serve are also, it's all of us, and we're the fabric of the community, and really small businesses provide a nucleus to bring that community together. It's been a fascinating study.
It has been a very interesting spring as we've all been living through this this
Yes.
period. Well, this is the opportunity for you to bring this to a close with the answer to the question of why vote for Bill Penor for Lieutenant Governor of Washington State.
Well, I think I bring to the table a unique set of circumstances, and I know the value of a hard-earned dollar. I've educated myself to a large degree, surrounded myself with some very good people, some people that cared about me, and the thing that I want to give back to the people of Washington State is that same philosophy, caring about them, taking care of them instead of them having to worry about how they're going to pay their taxes, the high taxes, highest taxation in Washington's history. We need to figure out ways that we can work economically, support businesses, and hone in on that educational value to where we can have 10th, 11th, and 12th graders transition through school under a new model to where they can transition right on into a well-paying career, whether it's in mechanics or an HVAC specialist or something bigger than that. There are opportunities out there, and businesses can help generate that possibility for a lot of these students under apprenticeship programs and opportunities like that. The other thing I bring to the table, I believe, is an opportunity to bring, we're faced with racial issues in today's world, issues that should have been settled long ago, and I believe that I can bring people to the table to help create meaningful dialogue to help solve a lot of these inequities, and by and large, through educational opportunities for young people, can help stem that tide for the future.
Okay.
So,
Well, Bill, that was a good summary, and I appreciate you being able to come into the studio today,
well, thanks for having me.
and good luck with your campaign.
Thank you.
90 million Christians are eligible to vote.
40 million didn't.
That's 45% of eligible Christians not voting.
We can change that.
We believe We Vote was designed to arm people of faith with information on candidates.
And how they line up with biblical and constitutional principles.
It's simply WeBelieveWeVote.com.
We're on a mission to rev up the 2020 election.
Tell your friends, your neighbors, and especially your pastors to rev up.
Be an educated voter.
Arm yourself with truth based on the Word of God.
2020, rev up.
Register, educate, vote.
Rev up.
Rev up.
Rev up 2020.